Now we're going to look at how to solve linear equations that have fractions in them. So instead of working with the fractions, an easier way to handle these equations is to start by clearing the fractions. And so we want to look at what our denominators are, in this case 8 and 12, and we want to find the least common multiple of 8 and 12. So that means if you were counting by 8s or if you were counting by 12s. So the least common multiple of 8 and 12 is 24. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply every single thing, every single term in the equation by 24. And when I do that, over here, the 24 divided by 8 is going to leave me with 3. So I have 3 times 5y left right there. Even though this minus 2 isn't a fraction, I still need to multiply it by 24. And then over here, the 12 and the 24 will divide to leave me with a 2. So I have 7y times 2 left over there. So now I'm going to take care of this multiplication. You can go ahead and do that all in one step if you want. I just wanted to show it to you a little more clearly. So we have 15y minus 48 is equal to 14y. Now I'm going to get my variables on one side just like we did before. I'm going to subtract 15y from both sides. So that's going to give me negative 48 is equal to negative 1y. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. So y is equal to positive 48. Now that's the same answer I would have gotten if I had gone ahead and tried to work with the fractions by themselves. I don't have to do anything to the answer at the end, it's just whatever it is after I clear the fractions. Alright, in this next example, my denominators are 10 and 4. So the least common multiple of 10 and 4 is 20. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply every single thing in the equation by 20, even if it's not a fraction. So here the 20 and the 10 are going to divide to leave me with a 2. So I have 2 times 7u left right there. Then I just have 3 times 20, which is 60. And then here the 4 and the 20 are going to divide to leave me with 5. So I have 3u times 5. So multiplying these together again, I have 14u plus 60 equals 15u. Combining my variables on one side of the equal sign, I'm going to subtract that 14u from both sides. So I have 60 equals u, or u equals 60. Again, same answer I would have gotten had I worked with the fractions. I can go ahead and just leave it. Now here, I'm going to use the same process, but I'm going to have to be a little more careful when I distribute my multiplication. So when I'm looking at 8 and 4, the least common multiple of that is 8. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply every term in the equation by 8. So 8 times negative 4 is negative 32 on this side. Over here, the 8 top and bottom will just cancel, leaving me with the 5x plus 7. Here, the 4 and the 8 divide to leave me with a 2. So I have that minus there, and then the 4x plus 9 times that 2 left. So I have to go back and I have to distribute that 2 to everything. So I'm going to have negative 32 equals, I still have this 5x plus 7, minus 2 times 4x is 8x, 2 times 9 is 18. Now you have to be careful here with the subtraction sign because it means the 4x is being subtracted and the 9 is being subtracted. So I actually have to go through now and distribute that subtraction to everything. So I have negative 32 equals 5x plus 7 minus 8x minus 18. You have to be very careful with signs here. Now I'm going to combine my like terms that are on the same side. So I have negative 32 equals negative 3x minus 11. I'm going to move that 11 over by adding it to both sides. So I have negative 21 equals negative 3x. Divide both sides by negative 3, and I have x is equal to 7. We're going to look at one more like that so you can get the hang of distributing when you have what we call a binomial in the numerator. So when I'm looking at 6 and 2, the least common multiple of 6 and 2 is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything in the equation by 6. So over here, 6 times 18 gives me negative 108. Here the 6's cancel, so I have 7w minus 4. Here the 6 and the 2 cancel to leave me with a 3. So again, I need to subtract the 5w plus 8, and I'm going to be multiplying all of that there by 3. So negative 108 equals 7w minus 4 minus, I'm going to do that distribution first, 15w plus 24. Now I'm going to go back like we did before and distribute that subtraction because the sign on everything there is going to change. So negative 108 equals 7w minus 4 minus 15w minus 24. So negative 108 equals, I got to combine like terms now, so I have a 7 and a negative 15, which gives me a negative 8w, and then I have a negative 4 and a negative 24, which gives me negative 28. So now I need to get w by itself, so I'm going to add 28 to both sides. So I have negative 80 is equal to negative 8w. Divide both sides by negative 8, and we get w is equal to 10.